is a terrific day. Not only do we have everything to get the Chevelle backyard neighborhood drivable, but also I have bought something this morning. I paid a deposit, so it's not here, and we'll see how we solve it. But I have managed to buy the perfect chassis, donor, whatever, for my ultimate family hauler, trailer hauler, vehicle, whatever you want to call it. So a friend of mine sent me an ad on Facebook Marketplace this morning, and most often when people send me things, I have already seen it, but in this case, I have actually missed it. So I'm really thankful because he sent it my way. So what it is, it's a 95 C3500 chassis. It's basically a bare chassis with a cab on it. And the great thing is how it is registered, and that goes back to our stupid Swedish rules here. And the thing is, they have lowered the total weight on it, as we call it here. The total weight is the maximum weight of the vehicle plus load. The maximum you can weigh when you drive around without getting into trouble, basically. And they have lowered that down to 3,500 kilos, 3.5 tons. And because of our rules, that makes it a light duty truck instead of a heavy duty truck. If it's 3,001 kilos, it's a heavy duty truck, and it goes on all of the other rules that basically a semi goes under. So that means you can't drive it as fast. You can only drive, is it a maximum of 100 kilometers per hour. And if it's a light duty truck, it's basically you can drive the speed limit. So that's one good thing. This thing you only have, it is 95, so it's tax exempt, and you only have to inspect it every other year. If it was a heavy duty truck, you would have to inspect it every year either way. So that's all good. But also it requires less of a driver's license. You can have your regular car driver's license and drive it, which means that my wife will be able to drive it in the future. She don't have to get a higher sort of driver's license, which I have, so it's not a problem for me. But there's a bunch of positives coming with having a what we call a light duty truck. So that's all perfect. And one of the best things about this thing is it is already registered with a very high towing capacity by our standards. Our rules is that you can't have a 50 millimeter ball hitch trailer over 3.5 tons. So 3.5 tons is our golden point. Most often you can't get any higher, and obviously you can have lower, but you want the 3.5 tons. My trailer is 3.5 tons, so it would be perfect. This thing is registered for 4 tons, which is very uncommon. So I will never be able to use those 500 kilos extra, but it looks good when you look it up. And I don't have to bother convincing the inspection to get me my 3.5 tons. It is already done, said and done. I don't have to think about it. I only have to figure out the engine, which will probably be a Mercedes diesel in the end, and I have to figure out which body I want. Do I want to put on a GMT 400 body, which all of the front mounts are just going to fit? It will be a pretty easy swap. We have to shorten the frame, make it into a single wheel. It's obviously a dual wheel with a narrow rear axle at the moment. Or do we continue looking for a 2007 to 2014 Suburban body? We'll see. But this is the perfect chassis for me. It could have been a little bit older, but who cares? Since it already is registered as a diesel, I'm not 100% sure of the rules here, but I think that the problem is registering a gas to a diesel or gas after 1992. So since this is already a diesel, going from one diesel to another shouldn't be that much of a problem. So yeah, it's perfect in basically every sense of the way. So I made a deposit on it. He asked $800 for it, which I thought was way within the feasibility to buy it. And the thing is, it is decently far away, like I haven't even checked, but maybe 350 to 400 kilometers away. It's not the end of the world far away, but I'm still don't really trust my truck to do that kind of trip. I asked a car hauling company here in Sweden. They wanted like $1,200, so that's out of the question. So I asked my viewers here in Sweden if they have any idea, if someone can help me. Obviously, I understand that it costs money, but $1,200 for an $800 vehicle obviously feels kind of wrong. So we have to figure it out somehow. But I'm really hyped for this. So hopefully, maybe we can have it here by next week. We'll see. Then we can start thinking about the future for it. But yeah, that's about that with the ultimate hauler. So yeah, we can continue working on the Chevelle here. I painted the clutch stuff yesterday, so I'm gonna put that in place. Gonna put in the banjo bolts, start bleeding, and work from there. All the clutch stuff is back on, looking good, so we don't have to do anything more to that. That's all finished. I put on the new banjo bolts. I have bled the system and it works, but this caliper works a little too good because it is stuck and I was anticipating this. So we have to take apart this and move it back and forth a few times to make it unseize. But we should have functioning brakes here pretty soon. Unfortunately, it wasn't just a matter of working it back and forth. It was really stuck, but I managed to get it out here, and the piston doesn't look all that bad, but obviously it doesn't look all that good. So we're gonna clean all of this and hopefully, no worry, we're definitely gonna make it work somehow and put it back together. Back together again, was a bit fiddly and a lot of cleaning, but it should work. It's not really worth doing this. You should buy new calipers, but I didn't want to spend the money. So yeah, let's get it together. Caliper is on, it's bled, and it seems to work. At least it works somewhat, but then we have to see if it works when we drive it. It is really hard to press the pedal, so I would like to make the vacuum booster work. We'll see if we can find something to attach to get some vacuum somewhere. So that's all good. So also I put on my new 90-degree here. So we have a small fraction of a chance that we will clear the hood. So we'll get to the hood, but I want to slap it down on the ground. I want to put on the correct 90-degree bend, which should be in that box. And I'm contemplating if we should look at the downpipe a little bit. I'm gonna see what I got and see if it should work. Down on the ground here again, and I hooked up the vacuum brakes temporary. I don't think this is supposed to be for the vacuum brakes. I most often use the rear one you can have, but I don't have a fitting for that right now, and there seems to be good vacuum from that port. That's for the PCV system. But yeah, it works, seems to be working. And I could work on the downpipe, I could work on the hood, but I really want to try and get this out of here. And there is actually a tiny bit of sunlight here right now, which December in Sweden, you have to take what sunlight you can get. So I just want to get it out of here. We're going to test the brakes back and forth, drive it out of here, and then we can fill it up with some water. We're going to have some antifreeze later on and take it for a test drive. And we're going to take a fire extinguisher with us also. So I'm going to see if we have some brakes. There's a lot of wires hanging here at the pedals that I have to get out of the way. But try and drive this out of here. we're definitely missing a cylinder or two. It might be the spark plugs, but they should be fairly new, but they could have gone bad also. But we drove it out of the garage, which is a really big thing. So I'm gonna fill it up with water and see if we can take it for a test drive. We're gonna take it on this maiden voyage here, and or it's not really the maiden. I've already taken one turn around the neighborhood for the Swedish video, and I passed by a pair of people that were walking the dogs, and I was really crawling, and right when I passed them, I lost the headlight vessel and both headlights on the passenger side right in front of them, so that was pretty awkward. The brakes work, but they want to stay on a little bit for some reason. I'm not sure if that's the master cylinder. Maybe the rod for the brakes is still a bit long. We have smoke coming out of the valve covers. The turbo is smoking a lot. I'm sure if you can see that, it's right behind you. But I don't have high expectations for the life expectancy of this engine. Everything works. And it seems to have massive torque, even though we're not in the boost range, because I was trying to build some boost on third gear and it just drives away. So it's frustrating when you want to try and give it some throttle, but you don't want to anger your neighbors. The welded lift is not liking life. But I mean, it's running and driving just fine. Now I have a car behind me. The turbo is really smoking a lot. Either it's the engine or the turbo, but I didn't think the turbo or the engine was smoking when it was in the Blazer, so I'm not really sure what the problem is there. Probably the turbo. One other thing about this being the Blazer engine, or I can tell this when we're home again, it's going to be easier to talk when we don't have a turbo in our face. We have all gears at least. Shifter is really messed up and hard to shift, but I have other shifters. It's too bad that the turbo is smoking so much. So obviously it's not running 100%, and something that came to mind, if we think back to the Blazer, I put in that supercharged engine from the Oldsmobile that was running perfect in the Oldsmobile, and then it ran like crap in the Blazer, and we realized that it was bad fuel with a lot of water in it. And even though we changed to a different tank with good fuel and everything, it still ran like crap. And we realized that the bad fuel had killed the spark plugs. And if we then think back to this being the Blazer engine, which I was running on the same fuel before I swapped to the supercharged engine, we might have killed the spark plugs in this thing also, probably. So I'm gonna try and change the spark plugs and see if it becomes any better. But from this little test drive, it runs better than it should. It's just a bone stock 350, and I don't think we even think we have hit the any boost yet, so yeah, I don't know. But we drove this thing. It's been sitting for God knows how long, and it runs fairly good. And it's really frustrating because I just want to hammer on it and try it, see if we can build any boost and see if it has any power. But yeah, I don't want to anger my neighbors more than I have to. So I'm thinking if there was some place semi-local to me where I could put it on the trailer and tow it there, where I could test drive it, but I can't really figure out where that would be. So yeah, it's too bad. So we just have to continue work so that it can be streetable. Street legal is a stretch maybe, but yeah, so we can test it a bit more. But anyway, a successful test drive, I would say. So we're gonna take this into the garage and try to get the hood on and maybe a downpipe. Of course, I had to try and hammer it up my driveway, and it started to run bad, which I think was because of the boost, and I smelled fuel. So we can see that the distributor is sprayed here, and I'm having a hard time seeing where the fuel came from. I'm not sure if it was here in the split in the carburetor or something, but yeah, obviously it's not good. So something has to be done. Obviously, I'm not sure if it shouldn't be fuel pressure related. I'm not sure, maybe these screws aren't tightened enough, but yeah, I think that we saw boost for the first time at least. So I'm gonna go ahead, just try and see if we can do it again with a little less throttle and see if it will handle that. And immediately I can smell fuel and I can see that it's sprayed on the distributor again. And it feels weird, but I'm guessing it is between the housing and the lid of the Edelbrock, and it's spraying out between, because that is the line of sight that I can see. Obviously it's very hard to judge from the seating position. I'm not sure if I could get it doing like this. I'm gonna see if I need to tighten it, or maybe we need to change the gasket or whatever. But we drove this thing out of here, we drove it in the neighborhood, we gave it some throttle and it works somewhat. And yeah, I'm really happy it could drive in here again. I gotta say, the fan belt actually came apart when we drove it the last time when we revved it. So I had to put on another fan belt, but it was a bad fan belt. I know that it wasn't all that good. So yeah, we have about 2 hours left here today that we can do improvements. I'm thinking about the downpipe and the hood. And the thing about the downpipe is that I feel like this might not be the turbo we're going with, since it is smoking. Either we can try and fix that turbo, get another one like it that's not smoking. If it is the turbo, I don't know if it's the turbo, I just think it is, because I can't remember that the Blazer was chewing smoke like this. So with that said, I'm not sure if I want to build a downpipe for a turbo that we might not run later on. So yeah, we have to do some thinking there. But yeah, I have to think about what the next step should be. I went ahead and I started with the downpipe, and I cut it, and I wanted to go down here obviously, but I cut it about 1 inch too short, so it didn't work. I have another one of these. I have one bend and one 1 meter piece. So I mean, I have more material, but I'm not gonna build the exhaust now anyway. So it fit this way, and I have the wheel fully locked so it's not gonna hit. So at least we get the exhaust down towards the ground instead of up on the windshield. You can already see that there is some oil residue here on the window. So yeah, this is at least something for driving it around in the yard. So that's all good, and we'll see if it is this little body that is the cause of the oil or if it's our bigger body over there. I'm not really sure which one I want it to be. I have to do some research into what turbo this is so that maybe we can buy another one, maybe we can buy parts to fix it. If it is the turbo, we'll see. But we can do a proper exhaust another day. So, I mean, we are working towards getting this thing out of the garage. So I want to start fixing the hood now. And I mean, I want to keep working on this thing, but I think I need a break, and I think you need a break from it. So we're going to work on something else. And I think it's better to stop at the top than to stop when we're bored at it. So we will be looking forward to work on it. So yeah, the hood hinges is not supposed to be like this. Obviously they have seized in the downwards position, which has only been good because they have not been in the way. But now we have to unseize them, so I'm gonna lube them to hell here with some WD-40, work them back and forth, and then we can try putting on the hood and we can see if there is any rhyme or reason to this fitting under the hood. So that's the plan. Let's see if we can get these hood hinges to start working again. They seem to be fairly stuck. I managed to get the other one to move. This one seems even worse. At least it went down a little bit. Okay, this is gonna work. This is definitely gonna work. If we can manage to make them loose a little bit, then I'm not worried that the hood is going to fold over. So the last bit of working back and forth we can do with the hood. It should be bouncing back soon. Getting somewhere at least. I'm worried that it's just gonna unseize and start flinging up like it should if it was a good hood, you know. Springs back. I think that's good enough to get the hood on it, and then we can work last with the hood back and forth, and I think this is gonna work just fine. And look at this, we actually got a hood on the car. The hood hinges still need to work back and forth. I've tried here. They're getting better and better, but they are really stiff. So I tried closing it here, and we have one issue here, and that is the inner and outer structure has completely come apart here. So I'm gonna drill some holes here and weld it together so that will hold. But other than that, we are so extremely close to having this thing fitting, because I can actually close it, but if I look in here, I can see, or I can't see, but I have a rag on the turbo and I can't pull the rag. But just the fact that we are this close with the inner structure left tells me that this should work. And the snorkel, whatever, for the turbo is just hitting over here somewhere, just barely hitting. So we're definitely going to be able to cut out that a little bit. So yeah, that's fantastic. I think that we could have a functioning hood on this thing in a short while. I've done some more work to the hood here. I drilled 4 holes here so I could plug weld it back together, and that made the world of difference to the strength of the hood. It is much more sturdy. I am going to push up this thing and glue the hood and the inner structure back together again. That's gonna do a lot also. But other than that, I cut out a hole here for the turbo. I smashed it a little bit here for this thing. And now we can just close it. Everything clears. It fits better than most of my cars. It's a bit high back of that corner, but we can fix that. I have a rag right now on the turbo and I can't pull the rag, which means that it's not pinched into the inner structure of the hood. So that's amazing. I was worried I was gonna have to cut a ugly hole here for the turbo, but you think that the hood is a straight line from here to here, but it bulges quite a lot, and this also has these ridges that lifts it up about ½ an inch or something. So that gave us the clearance that we needed. So I'm really happy. And I'm even more happy with it is locked. We are missing the stands for it, so that's why it's like this. But it is locked, and if we do like this, we have the first step and we can fully open it. So all of that work that I put into that stupid hood release was worth it. So I'm over the moon. I mean, it's just a hood, it's just a hood release, but everything fits, the hood release works, and yeah, I'm so happy with the result. I can't stop opening and closing because I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm guessing that the stance is what makes it pop when you go like this. So obviously there is more work to be done, but I am really happy with how good it looks. And speaking of the looks on this thing, I have had some comments about keeping the patina on this thing, and I wouldn't mind driving around how it is, but I mean, the hood looks really cool now. It ties the front end together. But the thing is, I really don't like this rear quarter because you can really see the weld in the door, and obviously I could fix that and fake patinate, but I really want to cut the doors, make them into 2-door length doors, and at that point we're going to ruin the doors, we're going to ruin the rear quarter. I want to do work to the rear quarter. We need to do a lot of work here at the deck filler panel, and I need to do work here at the tail light. So I feel it's hard to save the patina, and also it would be ironic to fix this turd and having it have a nice paint in regards to everything else I have. So we'll see. But thinking back to the piece of shit that we drug in, I think it's 3 weeks ago, to having this convertible, it looks cool, it runs and drives, it has turbo, and yeah, I'm over the moon. And I gotta say, I still have a lot of inspiration to keep on working with this thing, but I feel we've hit a good goal here to just take a break from it, and we will still have the motivation to get back to it instead of quitting when the motivation is run dry. So I feel it's a good point to just get it out of here. We're gonna get the El Camino in here, and I was planning on getting it in here today so it could dry over the weekend, but it doesn't really matter. It can dry overnight with my dehumidifier. So I'm just gonna call it good here and cut the video, because I am just so happy and I can't really see any more improvements we can do. On Monday we can go ahead, cover it and do whatever, but then we can just take Monday to just get it out of here, get the El Camino in and prepare. I have a lot of cleaning to do here in the garage also, so yeah, I'm just so happy where we're at right now and that I saved this thing and made it into the vision that I had. But yeah, that's all for me. I hope you enjoyed this week and I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll be back to you on Monday.